Hello and welcome to the S Word Live. Renee Rebar here, sales strategist, TEDx speaker, and author. And my goal today is to help make sales simple and fun. So I have a story for you today about how to have tact on social media so that you connect with authentically the right people in the right way. And it all started with an innocent connection request on LinkedIn. And that was great. I've done it hundreds of times. Of course, I always look at the person. I always look at their profile. I always see our mutual connections, and I personalize some sort of message to them. And so upon doing that, I was then, the next time I logged into LinkedIn, and let me know if you have had this before, the next time you log in, you see suggestions, right? And so this particular suggestion was someone who lives locally, was a part of the same organization. We had a lot of mutual friends, and so I connected with this person. And the response back was like, yeesh, too fast, too soon, buddy. So I call that like the Tinder of social media. And it seems to happen more often on LinkedIn, honestly, than it does on Instagram or Facebook. But as a professional businesswoman, I definitely have a presence on multiple platforms. And so I am connecting with people. They're connecting with me. And it typically isn't a big problem. But this particular day, it was a bit of a problem. And I wanted to address it because I think so many smart women business owners suffer from being on the recipient side of that and being like, ugh. And because we never want to be that person, that guy, we just don't do it. We don't do that next step. Someone sends us a friend request and we're like, oh, that's cool. Or they request to join our group. We're like, that's nice. Or they open our emails. We're like, that's nice. Right? Or they respond to one of our emails. We're like, that's nice. So those are all opportunities to connect. However, because we've been on the receiving side of some not so great feeling connections, we sometimes hesitate. And so that's often where I meet these smart businesswomen. And I give them the words that they need in the specific situations that they have around their unique products and services and courses and agencies that they're running. And I help them craft that message so that they can connect with the right people in the right way at the right time. So let me know if you also get friend requests from people, if you get group requests, if you host a group. And if you don't host a group, you totally should. It's amazing. No matter what you do for a living, it's a fantastic way to build community around your mission, your statement, your motivation. And at the same time, be yourself, right? That come together with that authenticity that you can't always have just in the boardroom or on your business page. So that being said, opening emails, replying to emails, commenting on posts, if you have those scenarios going on, let me know in the comments. Say, yes, I do. Now, if you want to know about how to have tact on social media so that you connect with the right people, I want you to write TACT, T-A-C-T, down below in the comments. And I'm going to go through with you the same structure that I teach to the women that I work with one-on-one, to the women in my mastermind, to the great students that I have in my Set Like a Mother program, as well as the students in my best, most profitable group on the block. So all of these students have probably heard this. They'll think, oh yes, Renee, we've heard this before. They even have the swipe files of the templates, I love Mad Lib style templates. They have the templates of what to say. So I am going to share with you my TACT formula. So number one, T, tag someone. So if you were, no matter what platform you're on, but specifically speaking to LinkedIn here, whenever I share an article from someone else or even an article of my own that maybe was inspired by someone else's story or an interaction with that person, I will tag that person and thank them, right? So it's really like a double T. It's a tag and a thank. So when you tag someone, you're trying to get their attention. It's like, hey, how you doing? It's like a hello from across the room, a tip of the hat, if you will, and then say something about it as to why you're tagging them. So when you're posting, the first thing to have tact, again, so that you connect with the right people in the right way, tag that person, thank them, talk about why you tagged them, and then give some context around the article that you shared that they wrote, or the article that you shared that you wrote but you thought was appropriate and so connected to them? Because why, right? Why did you feel that it was appropriate? Maybe it was because that one time that you sat at that luncheon and that beautiful woman across the table had that red blouse on and you thought that was so lovely, and how you read an article about how red is the new power color and how when you wear red, you feel this way, you sense this way, and you stand up straighter, and you thought of her because you sat next to her at that luncheon where you both were talking about that red blouse. So that would be a full circle context that you could write above an article that either you or somebody else wrote that you were sharing on a social media platform. You could tag that person. You see how it all comes together? So these concepts that I'm teaching you are ones that I've taught over and over and over again to thousands of people, because selling does not have to be hard, right? So it is important to be tactful and kind and emotionally conscious about how to connect. These are the four and first things that I often teach people. So T for tag, and we're going to go TACT. So hold your horses. I'm excited. Hello, Donna. Hello, Irina. Hello, Pamela. Thank you for watching live. Whether you're live or on the replay, let me know in the comments if you want to hear how to connect with the right people in the right way. And all you have to do is type TACT, T-A-C-T, in the comments, and I will share something special with you. So the A in TACT is ask. So I always ask a question. You know what? I've had a lot of really expensive training with a lot of really big copywriters, most recently, in fact. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that they encourage is to always ask questions. Well, if you're a student of mine or we've worked together, you know that I say the same thing. So whether it's from a copywriting standpoint or a sales perspective, when we're sharing things online, whether it's in a private message or whether it's in a post, we want to ask a question. Specifically in a private message, I never want to just barf on someone and be like, here you go, here's my proposal, or here's my link to my website. I always want to ask another question, especially in private messaging, because from a sales perspective, I always want to keep the conversation going. So what would a question sound like? Well, it depends on where you're at in the conversation. Hey, Leah, nice to see you. I was talking about the students in best, most profitable group in the block just moments ago, and she's one of them right here. So a lot of this is things that won't sound too unfamiliar to you because you're students in those programs, and I talk about this all the time. But asking a question, so what a question might look like, specifically in private messenger, for example, is, how long have you been in this group? Or, oh my goodness, I noticed we both are friends with Jane Smith. How long have you known Jane? Or how did you meet Jane? It's always such a small world. Or, hey, I'm a New Yorker based in Detroit. Where are you based? Or where are you from originally? Might be something to ask. Again, it doesn't always have to be about business, especially if it's the beginning of the conversation, right? Or you could say, what is your favorite service to sell? Or I might say that. Or what is your favorite course? Or do you have any new programs that you're launching? What are you most excited about right now? I'd love to share it, because I'm always looking to be a connector. When I look to connect, when I seek connection, I not only receive it, but I get more connections than I ever imagined. So that one person that I might be connecting with here, asking about their course or asking about where they're from originally, I imagine there's 100 people behind them, and there are, that they can connect me to, and then I can connect them to. So there's always that symbiotic relationship to any connection that we make in life, whether it's in person or online. And obviously right now it's mostly online. So that's the A, ask. The C is call to action. So for those of you who aren't professional marketers or haven't taken professional marketing courses like I have, call to action is just telling them what to do next, right? So if I'm posting or if I'm sharing something in a messenger, I want to ask that question and I want to give them the next direction. Do you want the link to check it out? And then I would say, well, here's the link. Click the link and then look for this. So click the link and look for this, or share this video, or share this with a friend, or hit reply or comment below. And so those are all words that you can use when you're giving those calls to action. And yes, Leah says, I struggle with the call to action. You know what, Leah? You are not alone. A lot of people do. And so this comes very naturally to me. And I'm sure there's so many things, Leah, that come naturally to you, like, all the things that I don't know about. And so we all have our gifts. And that is really the key here, is that we do so many things innately and we don't even realize it. So that being said, calls to action, there are some words that work. I know there's more inside of Best Most Profitable Group in the Block, lots of questions in there and lots of calls to actions to make. So request to join my group, or click the link for more information, or hit me up in the DMs if you have another question, or any type of next direction actions. But don't forget to do that, because people can read it and they can enjoy it. And then if it's just like, okay, phew, right? Well, we want to give them something to do. And if we forget to put it in the post or say it in the video, we can always put it in the comments below, or we can always message them again and be like, you know what? I totally spaced. I wanted to say this, but I didn't. Here it is. So it's okay to be human. Like that, I am a lot. Like the other day, oh my gosh, a lovely lady that I know very well messaged me, but I didn't look at her last name right away, and I thought she was someone else, and I said something that wouldn't make any sense to her because it has nothing to do with her. It has something to do with this other person who I thought she was. And I was just zipping through, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I realized, I was like, oi, I'm so sorry, and left her this message. I was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, hey, no worries, we all do it. And then she was like, that's why I love you, Renee, because you're real. I'm like, well, yeah. So don't be afraid to mess up. Shit, everybody makes mistakes, so whatever. Okay. The last T in TACT, T-A-C-T, is talk about your opinion. And what I mean by that is from a sales perspective. So if I'm talking about calls to action, I speak about them from my unique perspective, from being a salesperson since 1994, selling intangibles, right? Selling invisibles, selling services. That is my perspective. So I can speak about the red blouse and how I feel about it, or that article about how red is a power color, and if you want to feel strong and happy and proud, you should wear red. And I can speak about that from a sales perspective about, hey, the days that I had big presentations to make, I made sure I wore the red shoes, and that's made me, just that made me feel stronger, more powerful, and ready. And so that is your perspective. So what is your unique perspective? So from a blank, whatever you call yourself, a blank perspective, this is how I view that. So if you're sharing a post or you're sharing an opinion, always say it from my perspective. So, if you're a lawyer, say from a legal perspective. If you're a funnel builder, be like from a funnel builder's perspective. If you create Facebook ads, you're like from a Facebook ads perspective. So it really gives what you're saying, your message, that super duper straight line from what they're seeing to where you want them to go. And that really, my friends, is the best advice I can start you with when it comes to having tact on social media, so that you connect with the right people in the right way. I hope that this training today has helped you take that confidence back and take control, because truly there are clients everywhere, no matter the economic conditions. I've said this for years. God forbid there was a zombie apocalypse, I know my clients would still be able to put a roof over their head, clothes on their back, and food on their table, because I can teach them how to connect with people. And for years and years, I have been taught. I can see I've got family watching. My family knows around the dinner table, it was always your net worth is your network. So make sure you connect and keep connecting, my friends. I will see you again next week for another live episode of the S Word Live Show. Make sales simple and fun, friends. See you later.